In just a moment, and several times throughout the course of our journey today, our train crew will be passing through your car. If you intend to leave our train at Crossgrove or Lemon Place picnic areas, please inform the trainman as he passes through your car. We stop only on notice from passengers. As we come to the end of our East Strasburg yard, you'll be able to see some neat rows of little cabooses up on the hill off to the left. These cabooses belong to the Red Caboose Motel, a privately operated motel which is one of the very few places in the world you can spend the night in a real caboose. Farther in the distance, you'll see the flagpole and red tower of the National Toy Train Collectors Museum. This museum contains toy trains of all sizes, shapes, colors, and ages. Toy trains from the mid-1800s through today. And some of these trains are featured on the museum's 5 operating layouts. Fairview Crossing is next. Fairview. The Strasburg Railroad is one of the oldest public utilities in all of Pennsylvania, and is the oldest railroad in continuous operation on the continent of North America. It was back in 1958 when 24 dedicated railroad buffs purchased this line to save it from bankruptcy and abandonment. This group organized in a most unusual corporate fashion with 1 president and 23 vice presidents. They all donated their time, their money, and much hard work, strictly as a labor of love, for the fun of railroading. In case you're wondering about the speed of our train, it's a very simple matter. The oldest timetable we've ever found for our line was in the Strasburg Bee newspaper dated August of 1852. We still follow that same basic schedule today, so if you've ever wondered how fast Great Grandpa traveled, this is it. Definitely somewhere under 100 miles per hour. Way, way under 100 miles per hour, that is. Coming into view off on the left-hand side of the train are some long white buildings. These buildings belong to the Esmond Shade Turkey Farm, which is the oldest turkey farm in the United States, as verified by Poultry World magazine. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, there is a Poultry World magazine. Esmond Shade Crossing is next. Esmond Shade. We're very happy to have you aboard today to enjoy steam railroading here on the road to paradise. Take a moment to examine the coach you're riding in today. Each of these passenger cars costs about $250,000 to restore to their present condition. Our locomotives cost about twice as much each to restore, and we spend about $25,000 a year to keep each one safe, reliable, and period accurate in the era of 1910 to 1930. We're very proud of the work we do, and it's all accomplished with funds from that ticket you purchased back at our East Strasburg station. This area of Lancaster County was settled in the very early 1700s. Route 741 off to the right, that road used to get to our station today, was originally a Conestoga wagon trail and opened around 1770. The old stone house with red shutters coming up on the right side of the train. Well, that house was built about 1774 and was originally the home of Cornelius Ferry, a wheelwright and wagon maker. Settlers heading west could stop here to buy Conestoga wagons, guns, and provisions, all produced in this immediate area. Today, this old stone house is part of the Terry Crest Adventure Farm, which offers more than 15 acres of farm fun for the whole family. Unfortunately, though, folks, that farm is closed on Sundays and Mondays. In just a moment, our train will pass by one of our largest and oldest suburban stations, Cherry Hill. Now, that station may appear small right up against the rails on the left side of the train, but that's just because we are traveling at such an alarmingly high rate of speed. If you look closely, there's a headboard on that station that reads Cherry Hill, population 17, more or less. That is, more when we arrive, and a whole lot less when we leave. Cherry Hill is next. Cherry Hill. In just a moment, our train will pass by Groff's Grove. We will not stop for passengers in this direction. However, in the summer, when two trains are operating, we do stop here to meet the other train to discharge picnickers on the return portion of our trip. That makes this one of the very few places in the world you can still see two steam-powered passenger trains pass each other on a regular schedule. Big white farm off in the valley off to the right is a typical Lancaster County lodge farm. Neat and clean, very clean. There are no carpets, no curtains, no electric lights, no television, telephone, radio, and no automobile. There are plenty of big workhorses, mules, and willing hands to help with the hard work of farming. In addition to dairy cattle, the produce consists of corn, wheat, rye, hay, barley, soybeans, alfalfa, and famous Lancaster County broadleaf tobacco. These are a peaceful and prosperous people contributing greatly to the farm economy of Lancaster County, and we are very proud to have them as our neighbors. Attention all children on the train. Do you believe in ghosts? Well, if not, in a minute you just might. Around 1900, a narrow gauge railroad, the Lancaster, Oxford, and Southern, nicknamed Little Old and Slow by the locals, ran through the second valley off to our right. As you can imagine, with a nickname like that, that little railroad did not last very long before it went bankrupt and was abandoned. Hence, when the scrappers came along so very quickly, they actually stranded a train headed by old LO&S number 6 on the rails. As it was unable to return to its station because the rails were missing, it searched and searched for all eternity until it eventually rusted away and became nothing more than the ghost of a little train. Sure enough, sometimes when our locomotive number 475 comes to a stop here at Carpenter's Crossing and blows her whistle, the ghost of that little train answers us back. As we come to a stop, listen very carefully and we'll find out if that ghost is out there today. Fair warning though, sometimes that ghost does take Sundays off. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, that ghost is out there today, although I'm a little disappointed I heard some wise guy call that an echo. No, folks, that is not an echo. You see, we pay that ghost $27.50 every single day just to sit out there and blow that whistle for us. Why, sure we do. That makes that ghost the highest paid employee on the entire railroad. And nobody claims to have seen that ghost, but somebody surely cashes all those paychecks every other Thursday. Speaking of ghosts, that's Carpenter's graveyard up on the hill above the crossing. Yes, folks, behind that low stone wall is one of the oldest graveyards in Lancaster County. Into this buried Marie Curie, a French Huguenot who fled France in the early 1700s to escape religious persecution. She and her followers eventually made their way here and were given a land grant by William Penn himself for 2 square miles right here in 1712. It was they who named their colony Paradise. And remember, folks, 300 years ago, this was America's frontier, and the only inhabitants of this area were Marie Curie, her followers, and the Pequot Indians. Those of you at the head end of the train will notice we're starting up on a little hill, and that's because our train is about to cross the railroad's one and only bridge. We do ask that you lift your feet when we're going over that bridge. According to some highly unscientific research we've conducted, lifting your feet off the floor will take a little weight off the coaches and a little stress off of that bridge. And hopefully it'll last just as long as the older one did, the one that we replaced back in 2011. For the past 4 miles, we've been traveling through the heart of what is commonly known as the Dutch country, the fertile farmland of the Plain people, the Mennonites, the Dunkards, and the Amish. Within Lancaster County are more than 75,000 of these people living a quiet, peaceful life of hard work and deep religious devotion. Nothing has changed, really. Their style of dress, their mode of travel, their entire way of life is essentially unchanged today from what it was when they arrived from Germany and Switzerland over 300 years ago. Place Junction is next, where the main line of the Strasburg meets the main line of Amtrak. Our track will begin to curve sharply to the left as we come alongside the New York-Chicago high-speed main line. This is the original route of the Philadelphia and Columbia Railroad, which became part of the mighty Pennsylvania Railroad in 1857. This was an important stop on the Pennsy with more than 30 trains per day scheduled in 1898. 4 mainline tracks remained until 1961, and today more than a dozen trains still pass here daily, but these trains don't even slow down. On the other side of Amtrak's double main line, where the lumber company, those big white buildings, stand today, is to stand Henry Lehman's Hotel. He supplied fresh horses for the train and refreshments for the passengers. Also on February 22nd, 1861, a special train carrying President-elect Abraham and Mrs. Mary Todd Lincoln stopped here briefly, and he addressed a crowd of several thousand people as he journeyed to his inauguration in Destiny in Washington, D.C. A little more than 4 eventful years later, another train passed in the opposite direction, bearing the slain president's body on its sad journey back to
Thank you so much. Other than that, nobody even had a key, so I'll take a shot with this.
All right.
Paradise. Change here for Coatesville, Paoli, Philadelphia, Trenton, Newark, and New York. But only if you can run fast enough to catch an Amtrak train, that is. Yes, folks, this is Paradise. Paradise, Pennsylvania. You're in it, and let's face it, this may be as close as some of us will ever get to Paradise. We'll be here for just a few minutes while we move our locomotive, number 475, around to the opposite end of our train for the return trip. At this time, you may wish to step into the aisle and reverse your seat for the ride back. All you have to do is give the back of that seat a little push, and it will go the other way. Speaking of number 475, that is our locomotive today. She was built in 1906 by the Baldwin Locomotive Works. She weighs in at 185 tons and originally ran on the Norfolk and Western Railroad in southwestern Virginia. Her tender carries 10 tons of coal and 10,000 gallons of water. In just a moment, we'll bring all 185 tons of number 475 around our train on the interchange track off to our right. Our engineer today is Fred, and our fireman is Paul. Be sure to give them a really big wave, yell, and cheer as they pass by. It makes them very happy, and besides, we wouldn't want them to leave us here in downtown Paradise now, would we?